Nation's capital, Gaborone. I'm Mogapi Samoka. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Kgosi Khama, the fourth, encouraged to serve Vanuatu with humility. Seretse Peter Khama nominated to be Deputy Kgosi of Vanuatu.
And in sports, reviving school sports in Botswana remains a priority.
And that is in Tebogang joining us later on our sport desk. Tshepiso Scholars interpreting in sign language. Welcome and thank you for joining us. Now in our first story, Kgosi Khama the fourth has been welcomed in Soweto to assume his position as Vanuatu Paramount Chief. In his congratulatory message, the Vice President, Mr. Ndaba Gaolate, commended Vanuatu as genuine people with set intentions for success. He further applauded Kgosi Khama for his outstanding commitment to serve a true allegiance during his tenure as the Vanuatu regent. Additionally, he encouraged Kgosi Khama the fourth to serve with humility. Totla Matlabapiri with more.
Multitudes thronged Seruwe Sport Complex to witness this momentous event, which will forever be engraved in the history of Vanuatu's chieftaincy, an occasion where the former president, Lieutenant General Khama, assumes his position as Vanuatu Paramount Chief. Kgosi Khama, who has been holding fort for him, happily hands back the throne to Kgosi Khama IV, presenting to him his tribe, and thanked Vanuatu for absolute support and cooperation during his time of service.
Ke itumelela go busetsa morago wa gago go wena. Le dirisantse le nna ka kagiso le lerato. Ga le ise le go le ntshosetse modumo. Halise le go le mkopise thogo. Ke sone se ke neng ka kgona go dira thomo ya me ke thamaletse.
Ke ne ke reditse ka botlalo ha Kgosi Khama a bua. Monna yo na tlogetswe le tšhaba a e somarela, monna yo tlhaloganyang gore ha netswe selo gore a se somarele, le ha go ka nna le diphego kana ga nna le mašoko le diphepeng o tsamaya ka tsela ya e betletsweng. Kgosi Khama wa bone, ra go leboga, re leboga tiro yo e dirang go etella tšhaba ya gago.
The Vice President further urged Botswana to support and work with the new government to rebuild together the country set to promote and nurture civil liberties and freedoms.
Mo mo sepeleng wa go isa tšhaba ya rona ko Motswana mongwe le mongwe, ngwana kana mogolo a tshela a phuthulogile mo lehatsheng la gagwe, a tshela a itse gore go sa kgathalesege gore o tswa mo lelapeng le le humileng kana le le humanegileng, ha ka dira ka natla, ha ka ithuta, ha ka dira le ba bangwe, ha ka dira tse di tshwanetseng, nako ya gagwe e etla.
Kgosi Khama IV said he's determined to use his leadership skills to drive cultural development and growth and to the livelihoods of Vanuatu and Botswana as a whole, collaboratively with the government.
Tiro ya me e tanna go godisa setso le ngwao, bodiragatsi, mmino wa setso, go boka, go godisa seriti, go godisa metshameko, go godisa peeletso mo temotuo, dikgwebo le bojanala.
Despite the mammoth task and many responsibilities as Kgosi and former president, Kgosi Khama intends to take over the reins with humility and grace through guidance and counsel from the royal elders. Tlotla Matlabapiri, BTV News.
The Minister of Local Government and Traditional Affairs, Mr. Ketlhalefile Mosegwa, says government will improve conditions of service for the Kgosi so that they can perform their roles effectively. Mr. Mosegwa said this during the welcome ceremony of Kgosi Khama IV in Sorowe, adding that measures will be put in place with an intention to advance the country's overall chieftaincy. Monica Siswaya.
For long, the Kgosi have been recognized for their meaningful roles in uniting the nation as well as improving the lives of communities. However, the institution of Bukhosi has not been immune to challenges, hence government intends to address any hindrance going forward.
Ministry of Local Government and Traditional Affairs ota ba emanokeng ka dithutunso gore ba supodiwe mo dingweng dikitso tse di tla ba thusang go tsamaisa yone tiro ya bona ya bogosi ya go letanya le go tsaya ditshwetso le gone go tamela one moragi ga mmogo le go thabolola mabaka a bona a pereko gore mabaka a bona a pereko e be la ba neelang seriti le thotloetso le tshusumetso ya gore ba dire tiro ya bone ba utwe ba totegile nngwe ya diphetogo tse e leng gore di nna teng e ntse e le go nonosa sone seemo sa bogosi ke gore go na le ditshekatsheko tse di tabeng di tsweletse ko Ministry wa Local Government and Traditional Affairs go sekaseka wena melao ya tsamaiso bogosi e leng Bogosi Act, Customary Court Act.
Various representatives of Bukhosi from the 7 districts of Ngwato, who throned the welcome ceremony of Khama IV, expressed their excitement to have him back on the throne.
Modimo a go babalele a ba go he strength sa go roetella tshaba ya gago ka lerato le ka boineelo.
Re ne re tsamaya diforamo tsa bogosi kgosikgolo rona re le masiela dikgosi tse dingwe ba tale dikgosikgolo tsa bone jaanong ra re diforamo tseo minister Mosegwa a di bitse re redi re teng re tata le kgosikgolo a rona
re lebogile hela thata ebile re itumetse re lebogile thata le ba gaetso gore monga rona ba tsile
ne re setse re tshogile gore tota kgosi ya rona ha isa bona le jana re tla le bakae
rona ko motseng wa Mosu re itumetse hela thata gore kgosi a ba khonne go boela mo setilong sa gago
ne wa go konka 2022 mele gompieno jana ba santse bana le nyora kgosi la gore o gate ga go bone we go ba dumedisa.
Bangwato are now eager and hopeful for a better future ahead. Monica Satswaela, BTV News.
Kgosi Mokhutswane Sekgoma implored Bangwato to embrace the new chapter brought by the reinstatement of Kgosi Khama IV in order to heal and forgive. Kgosi Sekgoma was speaking in the context of the past controversies that marred the president and led the disgruntlement of the tribe. He said this is an opportunity to move forward and build a new Botswana for the betterment of the country. He was speaking during the reinstatement ceremony held in Sorowe today. Kelekelese reports.
In 2021, the former president, now Kgosi Khama IV, went on a self-imposed exile following different allegations which at the time he considered life-threatening. Since the departure of Kgosi Khama IV, Bagamangwato expressed their pain and displeasure on the issue. On this day welcoming Kgosi Khama IV, the tribe was called into a season of reconciliation, healing and forgiveness for the new dawn in Khamangwato.
Tlalo ha ditemana di le pedi tse ke eletsang gore ka tsone re gopole tsela e re tswang go go yone loeto le re le tsereng dipogisogo tse re ile ra di ralala le dinonogo tse modimo ileng wa re dinela le thotloetso ya go leballana melato a modimo a nneng le rona ditemana tse ke eletsang gore mo puong ye ya me lo di setlhegele tsebe go itebatsa tsotlhe tsa bogologolo go eletsa gore
The Khamangwato royal family expressed gratitude towards King Moswati III and his people for hosting and giving refuge to their tribal leader.
Ruri konne ba le teng ba ne ba nna le kgosigolo a rona ba mo tshwere jaaka ngwana wa bone ba sa mo kgetholla gore nya o tswa Botswana ke o
o tang a tshabile a tsenye mo sa teng se sente go supa gore ke ngwana wa bogosi mme o wetse mo teng sa bogosi gape.
In the renaissance of the season, the Kgosi looks to work closely with the government to build the nation of Botswana.
Tšhaba Botswana e ntse e lela e re magosi a rona bogolo jang dikgosikgolo ba tseetswe marapo ke goromente yo o busang mme mo tsatsing leno re amogela mogoko a e leng gore beng ba rona ba tao ba dirisanya le goromente ba tshwaraganetse lehatshe le mmogo.
Kgosi Khama IV, as he assumes the office, said as a way forward he will revive cultural events and meet his people as a way to unite and further foster the process of national healing. Geletleletswe, Somolegai, PTV News.
Meanwhile, Kgosi Khama IV has nominated Seretse Peter Khama to be Deputy Kgosi of Bangwatu following his acceptance to officially resume his duty as the Bangwatu leader. Peter Batsalelwang has more.
Today's events of welcoming Kgosi Khama IV to his home village of Soroe as the leader culminated with his first address of a Khotla meeting. Today, he stepped into the village Khotla after being reinstated to take over his duties as the Bangwatu Kgosi.
Ke na le ditiro tsa go nna tautona wa pele mo setšhabeng sa Botswana. So le tampona mo Soroe le tauto re ke ile go Gaborone le tauto re ke ile go Moseja. But don't worry, re ta tswela re tana le ba bangwe ba goreng ba ta sala ba tswelisa ka ditiro tsa rona.
Ko re bolekane ditiro tsa me tsa kutlwela botlhoko botlhabane ke dilo tse neng e le tiro tsa mophato. Mme ra leboga Kgosi se re tla se go ba ampela gape ke gore mo mephatong ye go na le mephato e setseng bogogi ja ene bo ile hihile mme re tla tla go ena gore o botlatse.
Addressing the residents, Kgosi Khama IV, who has been on a self-exile in South Africa for 3 years, says he is determined to hit the ground running by serving his people. At the meeting, he consulted with the residents to appoint his deputy.
Ke batla go supa ha le gore la dumela ha ke re tsamaya ka molao ya bogosi gate go tshwanetse gore ha ke batla go supa yo tsileng go nthusa mo khoteng mo tirong ya me ke ta go go lona ke bua lina la gagwe jaanong kopolo ga ta ka kwano raitsu Seretse Peter Khama
ke a dumela gore Peter Seretse Khama ene mothusa kgosikgolo ya ga Mangwato.
Ke dumela gore Peter Seretse Khama e ka nna mothusa kgosi ya ga Mangwato.
Ne ke ema ha ke re ke le itse gore jaaka ra rona kgosikgolo a batla go nthoma mo tirong ya ntseng a le bolella nna ha gona nka gana jaaka na se bolotsa a batla go nthoma ngwaga tse di hitileng tse le the past 5 years ke ile ka dumela nako ele le gompieno ntse ke santse ke a dumela.
The series of today's activities in Soroe marked the reinstatement of Kgosi Khama IV as the leader of Mangwatu since his installation in 1979. Peter Batsalelwang, PTV News.
Dulac Botswana launched their first export of locally manufactured paint to Zambia, which contributes to 5% of their revenue. This launch serves a testament to the Botswana Exports and Manufacturing Association's efforts in ensuring that Botswana becomes an export-led economy. The Minister of Trade and Entrepreneurship, Mr. Tiroyano Ntima, applauded Dulac Botswana on their big achievement and says this aligns well with their new government's mandate of transforming the economy. Horata Moranyani reports.
By 2036, Botswana envisions on becoming a high-income country with an export-led economy underpinned by diversity, inclusivity, and sustainable growth, driven by high levels of productivity. Dulux Botswana's operation does not only benefit consumers, but they have created direct and indirect employment opportunities.
Maki ke leboge kana ke le lebogele go bolere la leditse mo tirong ya lona ya mokapakapa ya go ipela le go supa gore le gatetse pele mo go se le se dirang sa go rekisa dithoto tse di dirwang mo Botswana ko mahatsheng a konte.
Let me thank you for inviting us to this occasion of celebrating and showing that you have been successful in exporting locally made product. That is what we want for our economy, for it to be an export-led economy. Your new government encourages manufacturing companies to produce as much products and services to export to different countries and compete with the foreign market.
Le rona re tere compete kana re tsene jalo mo phadisanong le mahatshe a mangwe go dira ditirelo tse leng gore re ka di rekisetsa ba ba gaufi le rona.
Marks another milestone. We are here to witness the first consignment to Zambia of products manufactured here in Botswana. The obvious benefits is a positive contribution towards the balance of payments, which is in line with the ambition of making Botswana an export-led economy.
Botswana, like any other local manufacturing company, faces a number of challenges that limit their productions.
Of trade agreements such as the AfCFTA, which allows and permits smooth movement of goods and services across the whole of Africa. And having a company like Dulux that has been around since 1976, it's quite a concern that it's only now we are celebrating an export activity to a second country within SADC. So I think this is a challenge for us as a country to introspect and see, take stock, what is it that is hindering the growth of our local manufacturing companies.
Manufacturing with the right support is said to have potential in accelerating economic diversification, which is a key priority area for the government. Khorata Moranyane, BTV News, Gaborone.
Scores of voters thronged the Mogapi Primary School polling station this morning to express their voice through voting for their preferred representative who will assume the duties of the area councillor. This election follows the death of one of the council candidates before the general election. The returning officer, Mr. Kgolagano Mafoko, has confirmed that the process started on time at 6:30 in the morning as per the Electoral Act. Karabo Mulusi with the details.
712 voters are expected to cast their votes in Mogapi Primary School polling station, 540 at the community hall, 28 at Sugen Tent, servicing the residents of the cattle post, and 2 at Richmark Farm, near Moletamane village. Most of the voters who cast their votes in the morning were the elderly and turned to need extra assistance. However, an efficiency plan was put in place. In accordance with the law, the presiding officers have done their job well. They conducted the exercise of opening the ballot boxes to show the voters that they were empty. And by 6:30, the first voter was casting his vote. I can confidently confirm that everything is in place. The poll staff is delivering on the expectations. 2 police officers were deployed at each polling station to ensure compliance on dress code and unlawful political campaigns, among other duties.
So far,
Since 6:30 in the morning, we have not experienced any incident in the 4 polling stations I have mentioned. From here, we will all travel as a team to the counting center as per the elections processes. 13 council wards voted during the general election last month. Umbrella for Democratic Change won 5 wards, followed by Botswana Patriotic Front with 4. Botswana Congress Party got 2, while the other 2 were won by the Botswana Democratic Party and the independent candidate. The results of the ongoing election will determine which party increases its number of councillors in the Tswapo North constituency, which has 14 wards, led by the UDC Member of Parliament, Mr. Prince Maele. In 2019, the ward was won by UDC under Madinare constituency before it was allocated to Tswapo North after the latest delimitation commission. Karabo Mulusi, BTV News, Mogapi.
You're watching BTV News. Thank you for staying with us. Now moving on. An increase in the number of gender-based violence cases remains a serious concern not only in Botswana but also the world over. This therefore calls upon everyone to fully partake in the fight against this scourge. The remarks were made by Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of State President Ms. Kgosi at the 16 days of activism against GBV walk in Gaborone this morning. Mojari Mukibelo.
Globally, persons with disabilities are more likely to experience violence, abuse, and exploitation due to a number of factors, including societal negative attitudes towards them. And according to World Health Organization, WHO, it estimates that 1 in 3 women experience some physical and sexual abuse in their lifetime, including women and girls with disabilities, hence remaining a call for concern.
This is a government act. This is a Botswana Act, this is a national act which binds all of us. All of us. It is not just government departments, but all of us. We have to make sure that we comply with it to recognize the rights and deal away with all discrimination clauses within our societies.
Persons living with disabilities have pleaded for inclusion and consideration in their day-to-day lives. Some of the challenges we face as persons living with disability is that it's rare to find information being converted into Braille. We advocate for a budget that will address all the needs for persons with disabilities.
If at all the committees telling they are there for GBV, I would wish, if I may put it that way, I would wish they could include one from the deaf society, one from the blind society, one from the physically impaired society.
Stakeholders remains resolute in addressing all the challenges faced by persons with disabilities.
Law enforcement plays a crucial role in protecting and empowering persons with disabilities. We are recognizing how far behind we are in terms of accommodating people living with disabilities.
We've done training with the Kgosi that's really important. We've just done a public service. We funded a public service, a series of public service. They're actually animated short films that will be showing on BTV here shortly to raise awareness. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I think everyone recognizes needs to stop.
As a way of consideration for persons with disabilities, government recently developed the Persons with Disability Act of 2024, which main aim is to abolish laws, regulations and practices that constitute discrimination against persons with disabilities. Mojati Mukibelo, BTV News, Gaborone.
14 orphans from different villages across Kgalagadi North District graduated yesterday from a 12-day psychosocial therapeutic retreat camp for orphans that was carried by Hukunzi District Council under the Department of Social Community Development. When giving a token of advice to the graduates, the District Child Consultative Forum Chairperson Ms. Horata Kame noted that orphans, like any other child, need to be given some love. She further criticized caretakers who take advantage of orphans and treat them badly. No Mudunga reports.
Ms. Horata Kame highlighted that this initiative came at the right time as it helps the orphans to deal with their grief. The initiative offering them much needed prerequisite skills as they transition from primary school to secondary school. I believe that a parent is any elderly person in the society who respects the young ones and the young ones respect him or her as well. If you see yourself abusing the orphans, know that you are committing a crime and it is punishable by the law. Even God does not tolerate that. We want you to lead by example. You have been given quality education about life. You have been initiated, and thus we expect you to live a different life compared to those who have not gone through initiative. For her part, the SNCD officer, Mr. Buyanawa, says these graduates have shown a high level of determination, discipline, and focus during their course of retreat, and she further encouraged them to believe that the world is their oyster. We train these children as a team because they have gone through the same hardships of life. We group them so that they share experiences and advices, and we help them in making salient decisions.
This ceremony balekane is a symbol. It is a reminder that while life may take us through storms, the sun always finds a way to shine through. You have rediscovered the power of connection, the value of trusting others, and the strength within yourselves.
This retreat, dubbed Balekani, took the cohort to the Sikata camp in Maung, where they were taught and trained on how to overcome life challenges so they too can write their success stories. Neo Mudumwa was on television. Kang.
Now, in stories making headlines beyond our borders, Morocco seeks to bring out Central Sahel region from isolation. The country intends to launch an initiative called the Atlantic Initiative, which will enable the Sahel region to gain access to the Atlantic Ocean. Some analysts say this initiative is a move by Morocco to increase its interest in the region.
Central Sahel is made up of countries being Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, which are currently battling insurgents in their countries. Since takeover of the junta military, the bloc has disassociated from countries from the West and the West African Region Organization, ECOWAS. Analysts say this new initiative of giving Sahel countries access to the Atlantic could benefit the countries significantly.
The launch of this Atlantic Initiative, which aims to connect coastal countries and provide the Sahel nations with Atlantic access, is part of Morocco's plan to leverage its historical ties as well as strategic interests.
Despite its strong ambitions, Morocco's location could provide challenges to the initiative.
You either go round through Mauritania, in which case it's an incredibly wrong way, or else you go across the Sahara. I think it would mean going through Mauritania, at which point, it's geographically a very long way round.
Even though the initiative looks bleak, experts have suggested Morocco combating insurgency as an alternative to strengthen its power in the region.
Morocco can still play a role in preventing violent extremism and combating terrorism by training imams and promoting a tolerant version of Islam as an alternative to religious extremism.
The Atlantic Initiative also involves making Morocco's road, port and rails infrastructure available to some Sahel countries and implementing large-scale development projects. Launela Huale, BTV News.
It is time for Sport News in the Sebetlela on standby.
Thank you very much, Hulibile Samoka. Now, BOTSWANA Tonight Sports News follows with me, Tabuhan Sibetlelam. The Minister of Sport and Arts, Mr. Jacob Kelebem, says the government is intentional about bringing back school sport. He highlighted that the time is now to refurbish developed sport facilities that have the potential to groom the young athletes. Mr. Kelebem said this during his tour at Mahupu University Secondary School in Takatokwani on Friday. Thank you, Senso reports.
His maiden visit to the facility since being sworn in as a minister, Kelebeng says the school infrastructure is best and could be used to grow sports in the region. It is disheartening to see these facilities that the government has spent so much money on in this dilapidated state. We must address the situation. Hence, as the ministry, we have decided to tour the entire country to see the state of the sports facilities. The students must return to sports so that we can improve the quality of our sports. The visit also accorded school leadership an opportunity to share their grievances.
Just recently, sports shopong
Recently, there was a break-in into the sports shop. They stole 30 football boots and various kits. We managed to recover some. The rest we never recovered.
Sporting code
the school had mentioned that taking sports to MISEC caused a major setback. It is what caused sports to collapse. You reiterated the president's words that within 100 days we would have started, but I would like to talk to sports teachers to start now while they are still waiting for other incentives. They should show changes with their action.
Minute start. Are super petoho kaditiro tsa rona. E raletse dikgwetho tsone tsa gore jaanong ka gore e tshwere bana ba le bantsi dithuso le tsone di a thaela. Ke so se ke sa amogetseng.
Some of the challenges I've received are that there's a large number of students, which causes shortage of resources, issues of hostels, sewage and storage. I have noted all of them.
Ke amogetse dikgang tsotlhe tsa bo sewage, tsa bo storage.
We just witnessed the Minister of Sports and Art
here at Mahupu Unified School
as he was touring the sports facilities, and the minister highlighted that from here going forward, the new administration intends to bring back school sports, highlighting that sports and education go hand in hand and that sports has the potential to make a living for the athletes. He also highlighted that sports is also good for health. Thank you, Senso. BTV Sports, Takatokwani.
Now, and lastly, a biography book of the former local football coach, Major David Bright, who passed away in 2021, was officially launched last night in Gaborone with the aim of raising funds toward erecting a monument site for him. In his remarks, Marumo Morule said the monument and writing a biography book are vital as it will cement his success in football locally as well as a remarkable philosophy and legacy. Victoria Dakin.
Morule highlighted that Major Bright's unparalleled success in local football, which includes coaching several local football teams, the national under-23 men's football team, the Zebras and other South African clubs cannot be easily forgotten. He said biography of Major Bright's book marked the culmination of over 5 years of his dedication in coaching football.
Ladies and gentlemen, will serve more than a tribute. It will be a cornerstone of sports, tourism, and a beacon of inspiration for generations to come. Just as the 3D Kgosi monument in Gaborone honors Botswana political heritage, Major Bright's monument in Biligwe will honor our sporting heroes.
The monument we aim to establish in Biligwe will be more than just a physical structure. It will stand as a beacon of hope, a tribute to a man who embodied the spirit of perseverance and a reminder of what is possible when passion meets our purpose.
The author of the book, Mulifiu Ben, started following Bright's work in 2019 and yesterday was releasing his 4th biography book.
Writing the biography of Major David Bright gave me the perspective of a man growing older. valuing experience over prophecy. I thought less about wealth and more about the impact one makes. Brad always told me, Molv, I've lost a lot of money in football.
This is the beginning. In football, recognize in different ways, in different manners.
Those interested in contributing towards the erection of Major Bride's monument, which is said to be erected in his farm in Pilikwe, can do so through monetary pledges, donations in kind, or by purchasing the book.
Major Bride's journey for being an instructor at the Botswana Defence Force Military Training College to achieving historic milestones as a football coach, both locally and internationally, is nothing short of inspirational.
The monument will be a reminder of the good deeds Major David Bride did and the way he developed players in football, as most of the local players benefited a lot from his coaching. Some of the people who have shown interest in contributing towards the project include Botswana National Sport Commission, Security Systems, and the former Mogodisane Fighters Public Relations Officer, Mothusi Serumola, who each pledged to buy 20 books. Boitekanelo College bought 20 tickets for the launch, while the Zebras player Tumisa Ngorebonyi pledged to buy a tombstone. Victoria Daken, BTV Sport, Gaborone.
That was all I had for you from Botswana Tonight Sports News. Until we meet again tomorrow, same time. Now back to Libile Samuka to remind us of our top leading stories.
Kgosi Khama the fourth encouraged to serve Vanuatu with humility. Seretse Peter Khama nominated to be Deputy Kgosi of Vanuatu.
And in sports, reviving sport in Botswana remains a priority.
That is all the news we had for you this Saturday. Do stay with us. Weather is up next.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Weather Focus brought to you by Samuel Ramoton. Well, the current satellite picture shows clear skies in most areas of the country, except over some areas over the north and the eastern parts of the country where few patches of clouds are visible. Tomorrow, we're expecting few patches of clouds will be visible over Kalahari, while over other areas of the country, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions. Fresh to strong winds are also expected tomorrow in most areas of the country. Therefore, the public is advised to take necessary precautions. In the morning, mild temperatures are expected over Hainti and Kalahari with minimums ranging from 13 to 15 degrees Celsius. But over Ngamiland, we're expecting hot temperatures in the morning with minimums of 20 degrees Celsius in most areas. But over other areas of the country, we're expecting warm temperatures in the morning with the minimums ranging from 16 to about 19 degrees Celsius. In the afternoon, hot temperatures are expected over Chobe and Ngamiland with the maximums of 33 degrees Celsius in Chobe to about 35 degrees Celsius in Maun. But over the bulk of the country, we're expecting very hot temperatures with the maximums ranging from 36 to about 38 degrees Celsius. And due to these high temperatures, the public is advised to take necessary precautions. Moving on with the forecast. As for some SADC cities, we're expecting cloudy conditions over Manzini and Kibera, and clear skies are expected over Maseru and Appington, while over Johannesburg, we're expecting few patches of clouds will be visible and partly cloudy conditions are expected over Cape Town. Showers are expected over Antananarivo, but over Beira and Lusaka, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions and clear skies over Harare, while at Windhoek, we're expecting only few patches of clouds will be visible. Clear skies are also expected over Blantyre, but over Dar es Salaam, Luanda, and Kinshasa, we're expecting some showers. That's the forecast. Have yourself a good night.
This edition of Eye on SADC, Venezuelan election observers impressed by youth participation in Namibia's elections.